Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. It's just myself and Alan tonight. How are you, Alan?
I'm not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. How are you doing, Laura?
Aye, not too bad. We've seen a win today, so couldn't be happier. So during the week, we did see some fixture updates, so we'll just go over them because there's one that is quite interesting, I think. 2nd of November, Hearts game at the Orium is a 4:10 kick-off on BBC Alba. Then the big one, the Old Firm game at Ibrox, a Friday. It's like people have actually listened, Alan. That should get some good numbers in, I would think. Friday games are always quite popular.
Yeah, find it interesting that it's moved to the Friday when that's also the weekend the club are hosting a big sleep out. So don't know if that'll have any impact or if the club will change the venue later on. But certainly pleased that we're going to try something different and move the game to Friday. Hopefully get a decent crowd, get behind the team and get a big result. But no, that's definitely a notable fixture change. A couple of time changes on Sundays won't make a massive difference for us, but
Yep.
again, the Hearts one is probably next more notable one because obviously the men are in the semi-final that day, so maybe a chance that people will at least be able to watch both, if not attend both.
Yep. And then we've got Motherwell game at K Park, BBC Alba. Kick-off times to be confirmed, but I'm assuming it'll either be 1:10 or 4:10, since that's the times BBC Alba tend to do. And then the last one's Partick Thistle at Broadwood on BBC Alba, also 4:10. So plenty of opportunities for all the people that go, is the game on TV? To go, yes,
I
there
will,
is.
listen, people still ask, even after you tell them, but it's definitely good to see more games being on TV and accessible, especially as it gets towards the end of the year and the weather gets a bit worse and people have Christmas coming up. So it certainly gives people a lot more options to watch a team.
Yep, definitely. Eyes on the game, then they might go to the game and the crowds grow and whatnot. So, yep. So today we were at Ibrox for this Sky Sports Cup match against St Johnstone. We started with Ever's daughter in goals, if everybody remembers who she is, because she's finally started. McCleary, Pegram, Hill, Conley Jackson, Shinji, Cruft, Sabajo, we're still not sure how to say that, Macaulay, Arnott, and Berry. So quite a good team, a few changes in there, but still fairly strong for the game that it was.
Yeah, I didn't expect a particularly weak team given that we've loaned all our young players out, so there's not really anybody else to bring in. So Telma getting a run out in goals was to be expected, and it was nice to get a look at Quinty Ceballos playing in the first start. So they were highlights in the selection really, and obviously Leah being back on the bench last week, she's on the bench again today, and definitely expected to see her come on at some point. But Laura Berry starting through the middle at Ibrox, was always going to be something that I was wanting to see. We spoke about Katie not being very mobile last week through the middle in a big pitch Ibrox, and when I did predict when I was talking to Greg and Keith before the game, it would see Laura Berry get player of the match.
Yep, it turned out that way. Typically, when Car couldn't be at the game because of work, but that just seems to be the way things go. But we got off to a flying start, which is something we've been wanting to see for ages. And Kim Shinji coming on great, getting a goal straight away, and Jodie getting an assist, and I think it was set the tone for the game.
Yeah, I don't think we'd reached 60 seconds on the clock and already we'd scored. I spoke to a couple of people who hadn't even made it to their seats before we'd scored, and I don't think the result was ever going to be in any sort of doubt today, but always nice to start very, very fast. I think it's something we've wanted to see from a team more often this season, a faster start, and you don't really get much a faster start than scoring inside the first 60 seconds.
No, definitely, and also good to see, obviously, Shinji Kim, I should have said, getting another goal. She seems to be settling in really well as well. Then the goals were just coming thick and fast after that. 4th minute, Mia gets a goal, and then Laura Berry gets a goal in the 5th minute, so we're the perfect start, really. I think their goalie was ready to chuck it soon after that.
Yeah, 5 minutes on the clock, we're 3-0 up, and the keeper's down injured, and you really thought, aye, the keeper's had enough and can see what's coming. But to be fair, she got up, she's soldiered on before she was strangely subbed in the 89th minute. But I don't think the keeper could be faulted for much of what St Johnstone had. St Johnstone just came up and had nothing really to offer a Rangers team that were absolutely bang on form and looked very, very much up for it after last week.
Yeah, to be fair, the keeper kept the score down because she did have quite a few good saves at the rest of the game. But the next goal was on the 14th minute. We took our time to then make it 4-0. Laura Berry getting on the score sheet again, and Shinji got an assist for that one for Laura's second of the game.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot lately about Laura Berry needing to get more opportunity and more meaningful opportunity, and not just a few minutes out in the wing at the end of games. But Laura Berry playing through the middle against a team from the division below is always going to fancy herself to score goals and make an impression. So early on in the game, she's already chasing a hat trick, and it was only a matter of time before she completed that hat trick.
Yep, Mia got the next goal, Maycroft assist. I thought May was fantastic today. And then it was a race between Mia and Laura who was going to get their hat trick, and Laura, as you would expect, won that race, getting the goal. And I think Shinji got the assist again for that, so she was absolutely flying today as well.
Yeah, certainly in the midfield three, it was Shinji that started the most advanced before after maybe about half an hour. So she seemed to swap with Quinty, who moved forward, and they were both involved a lot in some of the goals. And Laura Berry getting the early hat trick will do wonders for her confidence. I think we're desperate to see her get a run the team and really establish herself in the Rangers side this season. But she's up against obviously tough opposition when we're playing one through the middle, and we get Katie Wilkinson there. So Laura's got to take her chances when she's got him, and she certainly did that today.
Yep, and then the 37th minute was probably the best goal of the day, just purely for the celebration. Jodie McCleary finally getting a goal after what seems like such a long time, and I think she was absolutely buzzing with that, plus getting at Ibrox when she's a fan, just probably topped it off.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant to see, and our mum's there in the crowd every single week, home and away. And, we talk about it a lot on the pod. It's been ages since Jodie's scored. She never scored last season, and they put me under pressure at the game today, and they told me to go and find out when Jodie last scored. So since Jodie last scored, the women have played 81 games. Jodie would have been on the bench and not in the park for a small handful of them, but Jodie's appeared in most of them. That's 7 games this season, 43 the whole of last season, 31 the previous season since she scored on the 1st of October 2023 away at Hearts in the Sky Sports Cup.
She loves the Sky Sports Cup, and she loves October, clearly.
She scored the second in a 4-1 win. Kirsty Hillett assists way back. So I think that was one of the highlights of the day, seeing Jodie score. And it was Jodie McCleary sort of range, it was about 3 yards out, and she just, even looking across the park, Jodie looked absolutely buzzing, and the whole team looked buzzing to get around her and celebrate her being on the score sheet. So she played a month in August. She's now the only player that started every single game this season for us, and thoroughly deserved that goal.
Yeah, it reminds me when Sam Kerr was going through a drought, and then she scored, and everybody was absolutely buzzing in the crowd, in the stands, and the team just absolutely buzzing for her. So yeah, well done, Jodie. Finally, hopefully you score a few more this season. Maycroft got a goal on the 42nd minute and a nice assist by Conley Jackson. Your fave?
Yeah, listen, I think I've went on record on the pod, saying that fans will grow to love Fallon when she gets a proper run the team. I think she had a very good good game today, and later on in the game she moved up to play higher up the park. Probably should have scored herself, but got involved, got an assist, and then just done a power of work in getting us forward on the left hand side, supporting Lizzie, and May getting on the score sheet. It's her second start of the season, it's her second goal of the season, so brilliant to see far more involvement for May this season, and long may that continue because we've got a hell of a young player on our hands.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and as you say, a couple of goals already, just getting started. Fallon played a couple of positions today, done pretty well, so a really good performance overall. Final goal of the half to make it 9-0 was Shinji Kim and Laura Berry as the assist this time.
Yeah, listen, I think that's something we want to see Laura develop as well, is a link-up play and being able to provide goals, and Laura's shown that, she's capable of being a provider as well as a goal scorer. I think she led the line and linked up really well, and wasn't too selfish and could see players in better positions. And I think that's something that's massively improved in the last few months in Laura Berry's game, and will continue to get a more game time, hopefully.
Yep, definitely. It just shows that when you're starting, or the levels of performance that she can get to, and obviously at St Johnstone, with all due respect, but it's going to give them all confidence, and hopefully they can take it into the next game. So half time, 9-0. Something we don't see often. Subs at half time. Shinji Kim and Kathy Hill went off. Alice Griffiths and Ailey Austin come on, and I think it was just more to get them minutes and freshen the team up a little bit. Probably give Kathy a bit of a rest with her just coming back from injury recently, and Shinji kept running her socks off, so I think it was a well-earned rest for her as well.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been nice to see Ailey start today, but she absolutely ran her socks off last week down the right hand side, and must have been really tired after her performance last week. So she played a lot of football after missing pre-season, so probably good management giving her a bit of rest and giving her a second 45. So sorted in sort of left hand side of central defence. So not really a usual position, but she's played right across the back line this season and acquitted herself really well. And it's been a really good start to the season for Ailey. A chance for Alice Griffiths to get on and just get some solid game time again. She's taken a wee bit to adapt into the team, so a really good win out for Alice in the second half today.
Yep, and Laura Berry continued her goal scoring in the 49th minute. Another assist for Mia before she then went off, but just absolutely phenomenal again from Laura Berry.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. She's added some gloss, to her game. Not just content with a hat trick, still looking for more goals. Probably a wee bit of selfishness, delighted that Mia and Shinji had went off on 2 goals. So she's the only one with a match ball today, but Laura Berry is going to be hungry for goals as long as she's on the park, and she showed that she'll continue to do that, but will also continue to look to improve her link-up play, which she worked really hard on today.
Yep, 61 minutes, as we usually do, make substitutes. Mia went off, Lizzie went off, on came Nick, and Wilco got her 50th appearance for us when she came on as well, so obviously really good. I feel like Wilco's raced to that really quick. Can't believe she's at 50 games already.
Yeah, well, that's every game last season and this season she's been involved in, so it's testament to Katie that, she's been fit and available for every game. She's not missed a match day squad since she signed, so really good achievement to get there so quickly. And it was nice to see for the 15 minutes of the second half she was on it. Lizzie took the armband after Kathy came off at half time, so it was nice to see that wee bit of recognition as one of your most senior players. So good. You knew Nick could go on and get a bit of a run out. I don't think Nick really wants to sit on the bench for 90 minutes. She always want to get out and get involved. So why subs? Give players that have done a lot of running a rest. We ask a lot of our wide players, and we really need to be careful with it. we're already missing Brogan for the last 3 games, so we need to look after our wide players.
Yeah, I think we were talking at the game and said the average age before Nick and that came on must have been maybe like 2021 or something, and then Nick comes on and we're like, nah, it's boosted up now, it must be about 27 or something, the average age. Nick's just put that through the roof. But
oh, listen, you can't be doing that to Nick. Wilf gives a stick on the Monday night pod and makes out she's ready for a knackers yard every Monday, so you can't do that on the pod as well.
I'm the same age as her, I can't say anything. But yeah, the game kind of slowed down for there. Obviously, we took our foot off the gas a wee bit. The changes kind of obviously always change the game as well. It kind of slowed down a bit. Then obviously Leah Eddy came on, Jess went off. Good to see Leah on. Obviously, just building minutes, coming back with her injury, but good to see that we're starting to get these players back to bolster the squad.
Yeah, as I said, we thought seeing Leah on the bench for a second week in a row would maybe see her. Didn't expect to see her for any more than 15 minutes, and that's exactly what she got. Really important that we get options back in defence, because it then lets Ailey play at fullback, and it lets us move Jodie forward and get more involved, and can give us another option out wide, and help manage the minutes of the forward players. Particularly we've only got Laura and Katie through the middle right now, so getting Jodie fit and getting Jodie forward as we get other players fit. I'll be key to us, especially if Jodie gets a lift from finally scoring again. So good to start building the squad a wee bit. Hopefully we get some more players back soon and get the full squad firing.
Yep, definitely. Wilco wasn't on long before she then got her goal, as she usually does in these kind of games. I think she had a few free kicks that she was obviously trying to score from, but she's always going to get a goal in these kinds of games, isn't she?
Yeah, you'd be very surprised if Katie didn't. She's very determined to score from with free kicks, where she'll be disappointed she's not done a bit better from either 2 free kicks, but always sniffing a bit, always looking for goals, and naturally she found one.
Yep, and the final goal of the game come by none other than Laura Berry in 77 minutes. Another assist for Maycroft, which is she's obviously had a great game, as we said, but 5 goals for Laura Berry, an assist in there as well. So just absolutely fantastic for her, and rightfully player of the match.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there can be any doubt. As much as some really good performances, 90 minutes from Maycroft, who just grew and grew into the game. She just continues to impress. I think she'll be a big part of her season. Shinji had an excellent first half that she played. I was impressed at times by Quinty. One of the goals came from her being aggressive and winning the ball high up the park and getting the move going on the counter. So impressed in stages by Quinty. Spoke to a couple of people after the game who, like we heard about Shinji, are very impressed by how good Quinty's technical ability is. Can't really be surprised at that coming through at Ajax. So hopefully see a lot more of her. But in midfield, we get lots of game time for Quinty, for Shinji, and for Maycroft. We look like we'll really improve on the early season in midfield.
Yep, definitely. I think 12-0 was obviously a good result. Maybe we could have done more if we had pressed a bit more in the second half, but we can't really more at that. But I had looked at the goals and assists, and incredible how we'd spread it across the team. Jodie 2 assists, a goal. Lizzie obviously gets assists all the time. She got 2. Shinji 2 goals, 2 assists. Laura 5 goals and assist. Mia 2 goals and an assist. Me 1 goal and assist. And then you mix in Connolly Jackson getting an assist, and it's the kind of the way we need to be playing to spread it across the team, not just relying on certain players. And I think that the game today can be something that we can really build on going forward into the tougher running games that we're going to be having.
Oh, definitely. What we did well was get players into the box. We had people running running across the front post, going to meet the ball, not just waiting for the ball. I think that was a factor today. People really keen to go and attack the ball, go and win the ball high up the park. And listen, we won't get too carried away. St Johnstone offered very little. I think Thelma had a couple of shots to deal with from sort of range. She'd have been as well high up her gloves if she'd let them in. But Heather probably took her Thelma's kit and just hung it up ready for next week. It wasn't much of a test for Thelma in goals, but it's exactly what the team should be doing against part-time opposition, particularly teams that come to visit us from a division below. So hard day at the office for St Johnstone. We did well. If we need to take that on. I think the most important thing today wasn't the amount of goals. Like you say, it was a spread of goals, but it was getting a bit of rhythm and tempo in a play. I think it was, yes, it was the weakest team we've played this season, but it was the best we've played this season. And we're coming off the back of a defeat last week at Ibrox and a really, really tough game next week away at Hibs, who were very impressive winning 9-0 against Motherwell, and a full strength Motherwell team as well. So Hibs are absolutely flying. Probably should be considered the best team in the country at this point. So we have a massive game, and today was a nice feel-good day, but we really need to see the team take that on and build on that in the big games.
Yeah, it gives them confidence though at Ibrox finally getting a win where it seems like for ages we've not really won. So as much as it is St Johnstone and that, I think Leanne will be building on the positives of, right, we've got a game at Ibrox that we've won. Now we need to take that into obviously the bigger games and try and get that monkey off our back a bit, that we can win at Ibrox and we can, like, we use the space, the extra space in that we had for the width and that we had with that Lizzie and that was providing. So it just shows that we can do it. Obviously, as you say, St Johnstone are part-time and whatnot, but I think they need to take the positives for that and obviously take it into the next games at Ibrox, and obviously next week's an away game, so it's a different kettle of fish, and it's Meadowbank, and I hate Meadowbank. But we just need to take the positives. That it's good that we've got a win at Ibrox, and hopefully that anybody that was just attending a game today or a win maybe comes back and we get more people in, because we have finally won a game at Ibrox.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate the way things have worked out with different fixtures. The two games we've moved our way back to Broadwood this season have been Motherwell and Aberdeen. Both games we should be winning and not being much jeopardy, if any. So it's unfortunate we didn't get those games played at Ibrox. And then the two games we have played before today were Hearts and Glasgow City. So we're always going to add to the monkey on the back, the pressure on the players. But we should be at Ibrox in our next home game against Hamilton, even though it's only a day after the men play on the Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. As it stands, the club are selling tickets based on it being at Ibrox, so we expect it to be there. We'll hopefully come flying back into that game against Hamilton after a good result next week. But it's a massive, massive test of this squad next week. Absolutely massive. And, even this early in the season, I think we have to look back on our league form against Hibs last season and how much we struggled. And we really need to put down a marker that we mean business this season.
Yeah, definitely. The draw, I think, for the Sky Sports Cup's Tuesday, I believe. It must be about 6 o'clock on YouTube, I believe.
I thought it was.
I'm sure I read earlier it was Tuesday. Could be tomorrow. Anyway, it's going to be at some point this week, so we'll find out our next opposition either Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, as you say, Hibs next. It's going to be a tough test, and hopefully we've got a big change of squad this year. Hopefully the mentality is a bit different. We've got players in that already have played at Meadowbank before, so hopefully we go in and the other players that have been there have kind of got a point to prove that obviously Hibs are the current champions, so we've got to kind of put a marker in and show that we want to be getting that title off them.
Yeah, and it might suit us that Hibs will come looking to impose himself on us, and that'll give more space in behind. But Hibs have proven to be a pretty formidable team. We should take confidence from the fact that we could score goals against them in the Sky Sports Cup final last year. That seemed to be an anomaly, given that we couldn't score against them in the league. So, it's a good pitch at Meadowbank. It's a horrible place to watch football, but we'll be there as we always are, and it's something the players can go with confidence. But we'll be going up against a Hibs team playing with a lot of confidence. Just hope they have an off day and we are absolutely bang on it. But we have to make sure that we're not just worried about what Hibs can do. We've got to hope that the team go and give Hibs something to worry about as well.
Yep, absolutely. It's on at 1:10 kickoff, but it's on BBC Alba as well. But obviously, Meadowbank is quite. Well, it's never really sold out, but there's no many tickets that sell anyway. So get your tickets early so that if you want to actually go to that game. Round up of the other games, Alan, were your loan report?
Yeah, Sophie Townsley played 90 minutes for Hamilton. Again, not really sure why we've loaned her out to get beat every week, but they lost, I think, 5-0 at home against Glasgow City. We mentioned that Motherwell took an absolute pasting away at Meadowbank, but Sophie Black played the 90 minutes. Lionel Boyce wasn't in the squad. Gartcairn lost 3-1 at home against Queen's Park after taking the lead. Mia McArthur played 90 minutes again. Alba Stewart was an unused sub, but Rebecca Simpson came on and played the majority of the second half. Queen's Park in that game had Sophie Rutherford had got another 90 minutes, so lots of minutes for the loan players. Natalie Bandura played for 74 minutes and got an assist for Spartan's goal in their defeat against Celtic. Casey McKenna did play in the 90 minutes in that game. And no game for Boroughmuir this week, so Lucy Lively had a Sunday off.
Sure, she was watching football somewhere though, because they'll just love it. But yeah, good to see obviously minutes. Again, I totally get your point with Sophie Townsley being out getting beat every week. What does she really learn for that? But hopefully maybe we bring her back in January or something. I think it is a season-long loan, but if we're still lacking, obviously Brogan out injured, Camille's out injured. If they're going to be in a longer term, then you'd think we'd maybe look at some of these girls that we've got out that are doing well, get a bolster the squad a bit.
Listen, we've seen the way that we've recalled players before. That there must be an avenue to do it. We've hopefully we're not out any sort of window where we can do it, but we've been quick to recall Laura Berry before, so there's precedent for it. And we've got to look at. Yeah, it's good to see players get minutes, but are they better getting those minutes, or are they better contributing to our squad and learning from the players that we've got here?
Yeah, definitely. They could be getting, even if they are getting 10, 15 minutes, like, it's better than them being on the end of heavy defeats and that, personally, I think. But that's up to the club to decide, obviously. But that's just our opinion. I know your opinion's similar. You'd rather have her in the team around the team that she's going to be playing with, hopefully, rather than out getting beat. But yeah. No score predictor this week, but it'll just be up on the page on Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, I'll put it up on Tuesday. I might prepare it on tomorrow night, and you can, put it up on Tuesday. So I'll be back. We'll maybe get Keith back involved, and see if you can. He's gave everybody 7 weeks a head start, so maybe he'll join in again and see how he gets on.
He's that good at predicting them. I wouldn't be surprised if he was nudging Demi and Tracy out of the way within a few games. But yeah, it's going good. I think this year we've got quite a few new players to it, and I think it's just a good bit of fun that everybody enjoys taking part in.
Yeah, it is fun. I actually spoke to a couple of people who haven't been in it this year, but I've been away from most of the games because our girls have started playing football. So if Callum and Kirsty are watching, it's great to see them at the game today, and great that our girls are started playing football themselves. So so many young fans have been at the games and been inspired to go and take up trying to play football themselves. It's an absolutely brilliant party going to a women's game. The sort of message that the girls on the park are giving out, that it's something that they can do, is absolutely brilliant. And the amount of youngsters we see going to the games and pick it up themselves and go and start playing is absolutely great to see.
Yeah, you've got to see it to be it, as they say, and it seems to be the way, because Kirsty, that's young ones, have been at games for, a couple of seasons now, so the fact they're away playing, it's just unfortunate that women's football does seem to take precedent on a Sunday when girls' football also is, but that's probably something for further in the future. Obviously, Laura Rafferty out injured now as well, but doing her soccer academy and stuff is great to keep her, obviously, her hand in, and she obviously likes the coaching. I think Walco's done some coaching, so it's good for the young girls to also go to their kind of sessions, and they're getting to meet not only their idol but getting trained by them as well.
Yeah, definitely. We saw Kirsty how to do it for years with the charity foundation, and on our own as well. So, it was good to see her on the score sheet today down at Palace as well, and a few of their old players doing well for themselves. So it's always good to see. But certainly a very enjoyable day. In isolation today, and hopefully we see more of that coming up in the games to come.
Yep, definitely starting from next week, or carrying on the momentum of today at the next week. Rangers, please. Thank you very much. We'll leave it there for now. Obviously, get your tickets, or if you have to, it's on TV next week as well. But we'll see you at the game if you're there. Thank you for joining me, Alan.
No worries. Thank you very much for hosting, Laura.
No problem. We'll see you next time.